Welcome to another edition of Divorce-a-Palooza. So, divorce is a life changing event. And for anyone going through a divorce, it can feel stressful, emotional, exhausting. And there's something called the ripple effect of divorce. And that's what we're going to talk about today because it's something that could cause you to otherwise be a healthy person into a not healthy person. My guest to talk about this with is Mardi Winder-Adams. Marty is a certified divorce transition coach. She works with high achieving women. Marty's been in the divorce business for 30 years. She was a mediator. She's been a divorce coach for about 10. Hi, Marty.
Hi, Jackie. So nice to speak with you.
So good to see you. And the first time I ever heard of the ripple effect of divorce was when you wrote an article about it for Divorce Girl Smiling. So I want to give you credit here. So, Marty, do you agree with me that somebody could be a really healthy person, go through a divorce, and then literally it could take a toll on your emotional and physical health?
Absolutely. And I think it happens a lot more than people would like to acknowledge that it happens. And this happens for both men and women. But I think often for women, particularly the health issues really come to the surface because maybe they weren't really taking very good care of themselves prior to the divorce when they were dealing with the stress of the relationship. So
Okay, so you write in the article, and I couldn't agree more. Women, high achieving women, really all women, they always say, like, I'm fine. I'll be fine. I can handle this. I can power through anything. I'm not taking time off work. We just try to just handle everything. And we never realize that we need help. We don't want to admit it. I mean, what are the reasons women do this?
I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think women we I think there's an interesting thing in society that especially women that and I agree with you, all women are high achieving. Most women are caring for a home, they're caring for children, they're managing some kind of work outside of the home. Many are entrepreneurs, many women have two or three jobs or a side hustle, and society expects women to be the fixers, to be the glue that holds everything together, and that we are supposed to be really stoic and not ask for help and just, like you said, power through things. And there's a lot of research that shows that, yes, we can power through things for a while, but at some point in time, we hit that wall. And whatever that looks like for you, it could be a health issue, could be a mental health issue, it could just be that sense of being numb or that sense of becoming really an angry person through the divorce,
Right.
because you can get stuck in that.
Mhm.
And I think that's the big mistake, is to assume that we can just compartmentalize. We just deal with our divorce when we're talking to our attorney or our ex, and the rest of the time it doesn't impact us. And that is just simply not the case.
And I think society does it, but I think women do it to ourselves. Why
Sure.
do we do that? We have to give ourselves a break and we have to get help, especially during divorce. I cannot tell you, if you're watching this, how important it is to take care of yourself. Don't just let that go in one ear and out the other, because truly you need to take care of yourself. So, in the article, you get into the reason why divorce is so stressful and exhausting and time consuming. And the first thing is decision making. Never in your life, probably, have you had to make this many decisions in such a short period of time, right?
Yes, and they're big decisions because they have potential to impact your financial future, your retirement age, your ability to maybe reinvent yourself. All of those things are decisions you have to make, or all those decisions you have to make during the divorce. And if you think about it, in most situations when you have a traumatic life event, like let's say you go through the loss of a spouse, the first thing they tell you: don't make any decisions for about a year. No big
Mhm.
decisions. Now in divorce, you are in effect losing your identity as a couple. You are losing that spouse, although not through death. You're still losing them. They are not going to be in your life anymore. You may be taking on a role as a single parent a lot more than you have in the past. and you're making every money decision you'll ever have to make in your life in an 8-hour mediation or in a 20-minute call with your attorney or whatever the case may be. Or if you go through litigation, maybe a 20-minute appearance in front of a court and some third person who's never met you in their life is going to make all these decisions. It's
I mean, that
stress.
is really, really scary too, and a total reason to get divorced through mediation so you don't have to have a judge make these big decisions for you. But Marty, I want to bring up how working with a divorce coach is that's probably the biggest reason to work with a divorce coach because the divorce coach, which Marty does, helps you make these decisions.
Well, and I really like the idea of explaining divorce coaching as, I call it, I'm your divorce concierge. Whatever you're struggling with, we will sit down and we'll talk about it. I never tell my clients what to do because I'm not an attorney. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a certified divorce financial analyst. And those are all people you may need to have on your divorce team. But the divorce coach is really that nuts and bolts person. That's how I explain it. If your attorney says, I need your financial statements, and I don't know what does that mean? What does that look like? What do I need? You can call your divorce coach. I sit down with my clients. We go through a checklist of all the possible things that might include. And then if the clients don't know where to find them, we think about it. Okay, where can you find this financial statement? Maybe it's just going online, but that's really what the divorce coach does, is just gives you the time and the space to think about what you want, and then to get the things in place so that when you go talk to your attorney, you know what you want, you know what you know what you need to get out of the settlement, and you are better prepared to listen to the legal service that your attorney is going to provide you.
Okay, now I kind of just when you were talking was thinking it's kind of like a party planner or a wedding planner. Like if you were planning a big party, let's say you're planning your son or daughter's wedding and you're planning, it was left up to you, you're the one. Now, are you going to call, you don't know who the best caterer is, you don't know where to find it. They have people, somebody to do that for you. And really, you could probably plan your own party. But when you're talking about a divorce, these are really life decisions that you need help making. And what better person to make them with than with good professionals like a certified divorce financial analyst, even a real estate agent who specializes in divorce, a mortgage lender who's a certified divorce lending professional. So there are people now, and when I got divorced, they didn't have any of this.
Me too. Me
So,
too.
so I had to plan my own divorce party or whatever. But if you think about it, a divorce coach kind of holds your hand the whole way through, directs you to people to go to if you need it for these other things, and then manages the whole divorce with you. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to get divorced cheaper, quicker, and with a better outcome. So, bottom line.
Yeah, and a lot of times I spend a lot of times with my clients talking about how can they have more effective communication with their ex. So sometimes we talk about, communication skills or conflict resolution strategies. And a big one I help my clients prepare for is how to do negotiation and mediation, like how to prepare emotionally, what's going to happen, what to do if you get triggered in these conversations, so that you can keep on track. Because you're right, the more that there's conflict, the more you can't agree, the more you change your mind, that is all going to increase the cost and the time of your divorce.
And how about people don't even know what to ask for? It's like you could say, well, is the house, well, everybody thinks of the house.
Right.
You either want it or you don't, or you're not sure, but you think of it. But like you probably bring things up to people that they're like, wow, I never even thought about that. Somebody must say that to you 50 times as your client.
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes it's because when we're going through the divorce, we're in a different headspace and we're focused on different things. We're just focused on getting through. Let's face it. I know I was when I went through my divorce, it was like this big long tunnel and I just wanted to start seeing that light at the end of it. And I didn't have a divorce coach. Again, there wasn't any such individual that I know of when I went through my divorce. And I was very fortunate that I had a very well-informed attorney who knew a lot of stuff about tax law and other issues. So he was able to guide me. But that's
Mhm.
really not what most attorneys do. And you're
Right.
right. Knowing and that's nothing against attorneys. That's just not their wheelhouse. That's not even what they're supposed to do. So when people feel confident, whether it's a man or a woman, but when you feel confident in making decisions, you're more thoughtful, you're more deliberate, and also you don't settle for something that is less than what you need. If you're in a mediation where you do have the option to create that settlement that works for you.
Absolutely. We have a couple minutes left, so I want to shift to another part of your article where you talk about the emotional and mental impact of divorce and then the potential physical impact. So you write, divorce can bring up feelings of shame, guilt, embarrassment, humiliation, anger, frustration, sadness, depression, and anxiety. Wow, you really hit them all. But this can lead to feelings of helplessness, hopelessness, feeling disconnected from people around you. I think it can lead to depression for sure.
Yes.
And when that happens, it can bleed over into your physical health.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of research now that shows that people that are going through extreme emotional conditions, and it's interesting. There's this thing called the Holmes-Rahe stress inventory, which is actually developed by insurance companies, and it rates based on different life events the level of stress that you have, and that correlates to potential health issues. And so that's all in the insurance actuary tables. Like they use this as research. And death of a spouse is the top of the list at 100 points. Divorce is second at 70 points. So
Mhm.
it is one of those high ranking stressors. Plus, there's usually a move. There's going to be, a change in your relationship with your friends and family. There's definitely going to be a change in your relationship with your spouse, and probably some shift in your relationship with your children as well. So all of those things come into play. We know the more stress, particularly women have, the more likely it is to result in short and long-term health impacts.
And it also your job. Maybe you have to go
Yeah.
back to work or change jobs, or maybe you're going to quit if you get divorced. So, okay, let's leave the people watching with suggestions. What can they do to avoid this mental breakdown, physical health suffering? We already said hire a divorce coach if you can, hire divorce professionals. You need a professional support team.
Yeah.
What
And
else?
be sure that the people you hire are people you have confidence in. Sometimes people hire just the first name they see or somebody their friend recommends, and then they have a difficult relationship with that divorce professional, and that actually adds to the stress rather than helps relieve it. So not just the professionals, but the right professionals that you are comfortable and confident in working with. I always recommend people, if you don't already have some kind of a mindfulness, meditation, exercise program, start doing that now. And even if it's just going outside for a walk for 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening, that's okay. Wherever you start is better than where you are now, right? If you don't have something in place. Um,
Absolutely.
Get enough sleep. That's a big one. And I know that's hard to do, but have a bedtime, go to bed consistently, try to wake up consistently. We know that stress and sleep deprivation go hand in hand. So make sure you're getting enough sleep, good nutrition, good exercise, and find something to do every day that brings you joy. Whether it is talking to a friend or watching a crazy cat video or whatever it is, don't let that sense of stress and anger and overwhelm take over your life. Like, take back your sense of being able to enjoy yourself.
I love that. That's my favorite one. And I was going to add in, please watch your intake of alcohol because that can affect your sleep, your moods, and you are susceptible to addiction when you're in your most vulnerable, stressful time. So you don't want to end up becoming, having a drinking issue either.
Right. Yes.
Okay, now Marty, last thing I was going to ask you is how can my listeners and viewers get in touch with you?
Well, I'm listed on your website. So that's one of the easy ways because you could just go there and click on that and see all my information. But my website is www.divorcecoach4women.com. And that is the number 4. So divorce coach, number 4 women.com.
Well, Marty, I would highly, highly recommend you to anyone who is looking for a divorce coach. And I also want to tell people watching that Marty and I have been talking about how important it is to be with the right professionals so that they don't stress you out and you have good relationships with them. That is basically what Divorce Girl Smiling is. I'm connecting you with trusted professionals. They're all vetted by me and my advisory board. I know them all personally, and you can find them on Divorce Girl Smiling, divorcegirlsmiling.com. We're talking about financial advisors, real estate agents, mortgage lenders, mediators, and more. So thank you so much, Marty, for taking time to be on Divorceapalooza. And to everyone watching and listening, thanks so much, and we'll see you real soon.